Some fans are turning on Jayson Tatum after his recent comments, but Jayson Tatum calls them out in a recent interview with Malika Andrews, where he states that he is the best player when he steps on the NBA court and that he thinks that this team is miles ahead better than the last team that he went to the championship with in 2022. We'll be diving in on Jayson Tatum's comments and also be looking at how Jayson Tatum also stated that he feels that he needs to win a championship before he can be the face of the league. All of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz, and we're going to dive in right to the news for you guys today. It is a jam-packed episode as we discuss all this Jayson Tatum news, so make sure to grab a snack as it is going to be a fantastic episode. But let's dive in looking at Jayson Tatum vocalizing to the fans and to the media. And like I mentioned in the intro yesterday, Jayson Tatum sat down with ESPN's Malika Andrews and had a very, very nice interview with her where he discussed plethora of things to talk about the Celtics teams of the past, the Celtics of the future, and talking about himself as an individual growing in the sport of the NBA. There are some comments that he made and had to say, so we're going to be diving into those immediately. And the first one we're going to be looking at is Jayson Tatum believes that he is the best player in the NBA, where he said that he truly does believe every night that every time he steps on the floor that he is the best player. Now, Jayson Tatum, that is very great for you to think because honestly, we want confidence in our superstars in the league and for our Celtics team. And I totally agree that I think that Jayson Tatum is a top player, but I know that Twitter and I know that a lot of NBA fans felt different and otherwise, as I saw a bunch of people replying saying that Tatum's not even the 9th or 10th best player in the NBA. So there's obviously some disagreements with fans of non-Celtics fans and fans that are Celtics fans on disagreements of where they place Jayson Tatum in the NBA. Personally, I don't know if Jayson Tatum is the best player in the NBA, but he sure is a top 10 player without a doubt, and possibly even a top 5 or 6 player in the NBA, in my personal opinion. Therefore, I think he does deserve that cockiness, and I do deserve to think that he can believe in himself to be one of the best players in the NBA, or is the best player in the NBA, if he is already in that top 5, top 6 discussion. Let me know in the comment section down below where you guys would rank Jayson Tatum across the whole NBA. We're going to keep diving in, looking at some more context with Jayson Tatum talking to Malika Andrews, and we're going to be looking at some tweets from Noah Dalzell, who worked for the Celtics, that broke down all of this great information. So I want to say shout out to her for providing all these tweets. But first, we're going to be diving in, looking how Jayson Tatum spoke up about his early career success and how it has led to some prematurely say championship, as some people say the championship window has closed. He says, I've already had some really good teams and I've been a part of some really special runs, but I truly do believe that my time is coming. Now, that's the thing. A lot of people, once they saw Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown enter this league at 19 years old and leading the Celtics team to an Eastern Conference Finals run versus LeBron James in a Game 7, where Jayson Tatum in his rookie year dunked on LeBron James, everyone thought that the Celtics would be this team in a dynasty for the future. They had already prepared that the Celtics were going to win multiple rings by the time they hit 25, and everyone was predicting this to be their next dynasty. Unfortunately for the Boston Celtics, they had a lot of mishaps with some of those teams. We obviously had the Gordon Hayward injury, which slowed our team down. Al Horford left and then came back. We obviously had our Kyrie and Irving drama. So there were multiple and a plethora of things also going on. And adding Kemba Walker as well, I want to mention that. Plethora of things that were happening while Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown were growing into these players. And now I do believe that they fully reached their point where they are these guys on the team. Obviously, they can keep growing as individuals and they will continue to get better, but they're at the point where they are the number 1 and number 2 options, clearly and definitively on an NBA championship team. And that is what they need to do to lead and win a championship. We haven't seen them be able to, besides in 2022, be able to lead this team. So we have to see in these next couple of years how they will do as leaders and individuals with the team on their helm of their backs. And if they can do that successfully, being, the longest tenured players, being those vocal leaders, being those, intellectual leaders, then I think people will start to praise Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown a little bit more. If we want to keep diving in, Jayson Tatum also shared with Malik Andrews that on his current perspective of losing in the 2022 finals, saying, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and maybe I needed to go through that a lot. Maybe I needed to go through that for something. I haven't figured that one out yet. Basically saying that losing in the NBA Finals was obviously heartbreaking and tough, but maybe he needed to go through that loss to experience this, grit and grind to want to work out and win. We've seen the Boston Celtics after that, season with the 22 Warriors collapse, where they've, more time in the weight room. They were, after that whole year where they had that weird win streak and they wanted to bounce back, they started grinding in that weight room every single night after games, after wins, and that really shows and shows you guys how dedicated that these guys are to their craft. And Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown obviously getting more and more experience. We already saw this year them talking about how they want to be Defensive Player of the Year candidate guys. They really want to buy in and keep continuing to get better and better. And this step definitely helped them grow in that way. We want to keep diving in as well, too. Sorry. Jayson Tatum shared on his relationship with Jaylen Brown, saying, "Over the last few years, we've taken strides of coexisting together and getting the best out of each other, being the best version of ourselves and being the leaders our team needs us to be. This is our time." So Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum seem very, very confident in riding together. I know that the media have painted this narrative that Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they can't work together. They need to blow it up. They need to trade it. But this was, before we even had made the NBA Finals, and now fans have taken a complete 180 spin on that, claiming that the Boston Celtics are the team to beat, this team in the Eastern Conference, and who's actually going to be able to take down this team. So Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum have risen up to this occasion. They're ready to go, and like Jayson Tatum just said, this is our time. That's what you want to hear. Him and Jaylen Brown are locked in together, knowing that this is our moment. This is the best opportunity we're going to have with Jrue Holiday, with Derrick White, with Kristaps Porzingis. We have the best starting five that we ever played with. This is our moment, and I love this as a Celtics fan. And keep diving in. Jayson Tatum claims that the Celtics team is better than the 22 finals team, claiming that he's better than he was 2 years ago. JB is better than he was 2 years ago. Adding KP makes all the difference in the world, obviously. Jrue Holiday is a big difference maker. In the way that Derrick White has been playing this year compared to 2 years ago, he thinks that this team is way better. And I totally agree. Obviously, we've seen with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown growing as themselves. They've obviously gotten better. But adding Kristaps Porzingis has been a big versatility factor for this Celtics roster. Having him be a low post scorer, which the Celtics haven't really had in the last couple of years, has been a great bonus for them as they, are the most effective in post per game scoring, and they try to do it as they are the second most in the league. They have 3 times their post ups compared to last season, which just clearly shows you that they want to utilize using Kristaps Porzingis in that post. Obviously, Derrick White has increasingly got better. He thought he was going to be the starting point guard before Jrue Holiday came in, had that mindset already worked into his body, and then once Jrue Holiday came in, he still was not letting down, fighting for every loose ball in the beginning of the season, giving it his all on both sides of the floor, and in my personal opinion, the best player on both sides of the ball for the Boston Celtics in consecutive games. We also want to dive in talking about Jrue Holiday, as he is a bonus, and I think even though I do love Marcus Smart, he was my favorite Celtics player. Him and Marcus Smart are very similar, both very great defensive guards. But Jrue Holiday is a little less selfish with the ball and is one of the best corner three-point shooters in the league. So if he is open in that corner and teams do let him to sit in there, the Celtics will feed him that ball and it will work spectacularly. Also, I do believe our bench has gotten a little bit better. Obviously, Horford was starting for this team when last time we were in the finals. He had some great bench versatility. Payton Pritchard has gotten a little bit better from 2 years ago. And Sam Hauser, now in this rotation, has gotten a bit of shot down, and he knows how to play some great wing defense. I believe in those guys. And then we obviously have Springer, Tillman, all these other guys. Brissett, we'll have to wait and see how many of those guys get thrown into playoff rotations. But I think having those guys as utility guys as well desperately helps out this team. I think that the Celtics have their best shot of winning the championship, like Jayson Tatum thinks so as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you guys think the Celtics will win the championship this year, or do you think they will all short? But we're got one more thing to cover talking about Jayson Tatum before the end of the video, and that's breaking down how Jayson Tatum thinks he can be a face of this NBA and thinks he can be a face of the league. But he needs to win a championship before people recognize that and give him that credit. So we have some Instagram screenshots from Bleacher Report that we're going to be going over, but this was from an article between Jared Weiss from The Athletic interviewing Jayson Tatum, in which he says, "I feel like it's mine to take on being the next face of the NBA." He also said that if we win a championship, it would be more distinguished and clear, but I understand I'm in that short list for sure of being the next face. And he also said that I understand no matter what I do in the regular season, I'm at the point where people just judge me off whether I can win a championship. Now, going off of that third quote, I want to agree with Jayson Tatum on that. The NBA media and the NBA fans have been clouding Jayson Tatum for not being able to win a championship. And I don't know why, because just because he was 22 and 23 couldn't do it. We've seen guys like KD and James Harden and Russell Westbrook from the young Oklahoma City Thunder try to make multiple runs and still not win. And they were like clowned for it once, but then, oh, it's okay because they're great superstars. They can win later on in their career. So I don't understand why this necessary hate is on Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I feel like the media just wants to talk about something with the Celtics, so they just go on to hate about them. But yes, honestly, Jayson Tatum, a lot of people do see what you do in the regular season, but they do see that you fall asleep in the playoffs sometimes. So people want to see you win a championship. Celtics fans, I know, believe in Jayson Tatum already, but this is for the whole NBA to believe in him. And then, yes, he does feel like it's his to take for being the face of the league. JJ Redick yesterday on First Take, when talking about the Boston Celtics and giving his insight on who he thinks is going to win, talking about MVPs and stuff like that as well, he kind of dove in talking about how the Europeans are dominating the NBA and how the Europeans are competing for that MVP race. We obviously have Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid. We obviously have Nikola Jokic. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is from Canada, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is from Greece. So all five of those guys are European players, and the next guy that's kind of competing for that race is Jayson Tatum, the only real American homebred kid from St. Louis to be competing for that MVP. So Jayson Tatum be this American face for the league that the league is pushing for? We'll have to wait and see. But I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions. Do you guys think that Jayson Tatum needs to win a championship to become the face of the league? Or do you even think Jayson Tatum has the possibility of being the face of the league? I think he has the possibility of being one of the faces. I don't think he'll be the definitive face of the whole entire NBA. But I do believe that as we continue growing, his jersey sales are going up. He got this third amount of votes in the whole entire All-Star weekend from the fans, just behind the two captains. Jayson Tatum is getting his recognition from the fans and from the media. He just needs the praise that he deserves. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode where we discuss all this Jayson Tatum breaking news. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys are still here at this video, we know you enjoy that content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.